Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Hi, Bob.
Oi, Joy. Or should we call you something else now that you're not very joyful?
I mean, we could temporarily switch my name to Hate.
Hate. Or pain. Pain.
Yeah, joy and pain. I got you.
Pump it up. Pump it up.
Joy, pump it up, and pain. Keep it going.
Sunshine.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's my singing career.
That's the end of your career?
That's the end of it.
Okay, good.
Over before it began.
Well, so we're gonna talk about
sassy.
we're gonna talk about some serious stuff.
Oh, serious.
Seriously. But hopefully it won't be too sad. I just feel like this is helpful for everybody. This is a helpful PSA.
PSA.
Public service announcement.
I know, it was in radio.
Well, you said it like
Hair
you wanted
flip,
me to explain it to
flip.
the, kids that are listening. I didn't know.
I don't know what PSAs are. Don't do drugs. Cover your dick.
That is not a PSA.
Wash your dick in the sink. Oh, there's all kinds of things like that. There's my PSAs. Wash your dick coming in, wash your dick going out.
I think you might need to work on your PSA strategies. I'm just saying.
Hey, we just listened to some PSAs that we actually did, remember?
Yeah, that's true. We did used to do PSAs for when we were doing the radio show. Yeah. We should just randomly throw one in one of our podcasts.
We should just talk about it. Let's just talk about it. PSAs. PSA. This whole episode's PSAs. Let's go there.
Let's go there.
Public service announcements.
Yes, it is.
The name of the show.
Yeah. So, how to deal with somebody experiencing grief. Somebody who's lost a family member, anybody, really. Because I feel that at some point we're all going to go through it. You're going to know somebody who's lost somebody close to them.
Yeah.
And I just want to prevent what recently happened to me from happening to other people. So that's really where this whole thing stemmed from.
I think that's very admirable and mighty white of you.
I hate your face. I always hate your face.
I know, but luckily I don't.
No, the good thing is whenever I get so worked up and filled with rage, Bob says something totally ridiculous and unacceptable and finds a way to make me laugh. So
I'm the comic relief.
you really are. It's kind of true.
It is true.
'Cause
I'm a fool.
But in a good way. Yeah, because it's we got together. I was recounting the story filled with just anger, violent
Hunger
rage.
and anger.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't have as much hunger. It was more just the anger of the situation of it all. And I was and you just, being yourself, find a way to
Bob it up.
you bob it up, and then I brought it down a notch on the anger level. But yeah, I don't know if I have to go. Do you think I should go into the story, or I can just explain?
Just explain. I think, yeah.
Just the thing.
We don't want to harm those insensitive fucks. Their names will be.
I wouldn't have used names for sure. But anyways, neither here nor there. Something happened. And the thing is, when you're talking to somebody who has specifically lost a parent or, another family member, it's weird, right? Especially if you have never had a death in your family.
Right.
Then you're kind of oh, fuck. I'm sure it's bad, but I don't know what to do, what to say. Listen, nobody knows what to say.
Mm-mm.
But I feel that the best thing you can do is remember that it's happening to the other person, not to you.
So how you feel
doesn't
fucking matter.
It doesn't at all.
That's the amazing aspect of it, is that people, I understand, I never want to say that I'm sorry for someone's loss.
Yeah.
So I consciously don't avoid the conversation.
Right.
For instance, a friend of mine lost a person that I've known almost 30 years of my life, and it was their brother. And so saying I'm sorry, while yes, that's what most people default to, it's something I try to stay away from. So I just jump into fucking shit, like,
Yeah.
the anger. Because the anger needs to be there. Like, as
It
sad
does.
as you are,
Oh, yeah.
you need to have some kind of anger about a situation. So
Absolutely.
that's the way I help.
And I think that's a brilliant way to go because honestly, anger feels better than sadness.
Yeah.
It just does.
Yeah, no.
So I've always said that anger is my home because sadness is just too low energy. At least with anger, you get all amped up. You know what I mean? You feel alive. You feel like you could throw some bricks into somebody's face. No, you don't do that.
You burn calories.
You do? Ooh, yes. Because of all your just all fired up. Anyways,
I don't know if that's science, but somebody start checking this show for scientific facts, please.
Let's just say any crazy shit and pretend it's fact. We don't care.
I'm an old white man. I believe everything's true. So,
But no, seriously, I think that what you try to do is a good thing. And I know a lot of people who attempt to do that because it's like when somebody loses a family member, when a family member dies,
Right.
that's another thing is all the phrases that we use. And I find myself falling into that because when you just say, oh, my parents are dead, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds harsh and people aren't ready.
Harsh.
And that's another aspect. Oh, come sit. So it's going to be all over the place. These are my thoughts. And if it's manic, kids, I apologize. But that's the thing is.
Just another manic Wednesday.
When you are the person who has had a death in the family, then you find, unfortunately, that you have to manage other people as they
Right.
try to manage your grief. So then
Right.
sometimes you're like, well, fuck it. I will just deal with this on my own.
Because you're making other people uncomfortable.
Yes. People feel very uncomfortable.
And I'll go on a limb and say how they're also inconvenienced.
Yes.
Like, people feel inconvenienced by someone else's family member passing because it's hard to say because you can't speak for everybody, but at least 95% of the population doesn't want to deal with death.
No.
Even people who love death, love murder, love whatever, goth all day long, they don't want to deal with the realness.
Not the real death, no.
No.
And because it almost gets like people treat it like the cooties.
Absolutely.
Like or like Beetlejuice. Like if I say death 3 times, you know what I mean? And so people get scared that it'll affect their life. And it's like, shocker, guess what? Gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
Gonna happen to all of us.
Someday.
Everybody dies.
And if you never go your entire life without losing a family member or someone dying in your family, it's probably because you died early on.
Right.
You're the dead one.
And yeah, and then maybe in that case you won the lottery or something because then you won't have to go
deal
through
with it
the
'cause
process.
You're dead.
But it's going to happen to all of us. So when someone who's supposed to be close to you, who's supposed to be a friend, is experiencing a death in the family, then the least you can do is get right on over yourself and not worry about your own uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would say that I think that the best way to approach somebody would be to say, hey, I don't know what to say, and I'm probably going to fuck up, but I want to be here for you, and that's just what I'm going to do in the best way that I know how. If I truly, truly fuck up, you can let me know, and I will adjust.
Yeah. Just do the best way. Do what you would do as a friend. So if your friend loses a family member and you and your friend do nothing but sit around and bitch all the time or go eat all the time, then it's normal. Make it normal.
Yes.
Make your life normal.
Yes.
Let them talk about it. Let them grieve. But their life has to be normal because then you fall into the sadness aspect of it. But everybody has to go through that. And you just have to make your friend's life as normal as possible.
I think that's great advice. And that's actually exactly what you did. When my dad died, it was just like, okay, let me know when you want to get away. when you need to run away, you got a moment
or something. Yeah, like that's.
And that's what we did. Like we just sit and we watched, RuPaul and just talk shit, and it was good.
It helps. I mean, that's the thing is like I remember when my first time one of my family members died. I was 15 years old, And it was really hard on me because I had moved to a new area. I didn't know a lot of people, and I was wrapped in my head a lot because I didn't have any way out because everybody else in my family was grieving as well. So it wasn't like you could go anywhere. The grief was palpable. It was there.
Yeah.
And so like having the only outward thing was art for me, but still it's like if I would have had friends at the time or, had established, if maybe the internet existed then, that would have been better.
Right.
Or texting or something like that. But there was too many barriers. And when you're locked into a house of grief,
oh yeah,
that's hard. But, that's what made me get through it was that, but yeah, just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Be the unselfish version of yourself.
And most people have that version.
They do.
I even do. And I'm a really selfish person.
I can't believe you just said it aloud. You were like, you said it like, sometimes I wish this thing was videotaped so that people could like see the expressions that happen as we're talking.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing for you. You'd be watching it. You'd be screenshotting that shit, sending it to me at 2 a.m. or 4 o'clock, whenever the fuck you get up, and just like, oh, remember this time that your face was genuine?
Damn, you have such a low opinion of me. Just because I may have done it in the
don't
past.
have low opinion, but I have expectations of what you would do as my friend, and I expected I would do that to you as well.
I was just gonna say, just because I may have tried that once in the past. Anyways, not the point. No, your face was just like, I can't believe I just had this truth. I have unselfish moments. I really do wish I had a screenshot of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we all know that I'm not as horrible of a person as I play on a podcast.
No.
But I do
even
try.
Even in real life. You do try, but that's the thing. That's like the big secret, right? And which I'm always talking about. It's like, oh, here you go again, trying to be so horrible, but meanwhile.
But I think that's the point of me, right? Once you know who I am, then that's the joke. You get past the point of being, oh, he's such an asshole. I'm not an asshole. I just say assholey things.
Right.
In a comedic kind of way.
I was going to say, you just play one in real life.
I just play one in real life. I have lots of experience with it. And, yeah. But we're getting off topic. We're talking about me too much.
Well.
I guess that's the PSA of Bob.
It is the PSA of Bob.
Be shocked by what I say if you ever meet me in real life. But know that I'm either saying it from a place of truth and mean extreme harm.
We
right
were getting
back into it. Right
yeah,
back
we were
into
getting.
it.
You did. You circled. You doubled down.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I don't want anybody to get soft around me.
I understand. It's like you get all allergic. You're like, ooh. You just start twitching. You're like, I don't want it. I don't need it.
Well, somebody told me once that I was the exact definition of the term "shoot yourself in the foot." So that was like you have this great bravado, blah 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 blah. Like, but you are like your own worst enemy. Like you will always like tear it down.
Yeah. I was trying to think of like a PSA. I was like, I'm sorry. As I was hearing you, I was like, I wonder what a PSA of joy would be like for me. I think my thing is, especially every year that I get older, and like ever since I turned 40, I'm just entirely too truthful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm always talking about people who don't really have a filter, and they'll just say something like, "Oh, you didn't think that through before it came out." My thing is, oh, I've thought it through, and then I've consciously decided I don't give a fuck. Say it anyway.
Well, it's casting out the demons, right? Because if you keep it inside and you like allow people to continually be on bullshit, and you don't, if you're not, I mean, I'm just saying that, yeah. I mean, I was just thinking of that as you were saying it. It's like, remember when we were kids, everybody would be like, that crazy old woman said
Right.
this.
You're right.
And talking about some woman in her 60s, 70s. It's always a woman, right?
Always.
Men just want to get off my lawn. But it's those women that are telling the truth.
And they are.
And
like,
they're crazy.
They are crazy because nobody wants to hear
Nobody
the
wants
truth.
to hear the truth.
And nobody else is telling the truth.
And you don't, like, one of my grandmothers, both my grandmothers are very truthful women. But one of my grandma was, like, truthful to the point of not caring about, like, she's going to tell you the truth, and then she's going to walk away, and she ain't going to give two shits that you just laid your life in dust.
They just leave you in a world of hurt.
And if you know, that's kind of how I've modeled my life after.
Right.
But that was just the thing, is like people would always say, oh, you're Charlene's grandson? She's fucking crazy. Your grandma, she'll say the craziest shit. And it's like, no, she won't say the craziest shit. She'll say, you need to get a fucking job, motherfucker, and take care of your daughter. Like, she'll say shit like that, but you call it crazy, but that's the truth.
That is.
You ain't worked since 84.
That is.
Like, you know.
But that's the thing of the truth. Like, sometimes people really do, you know, you can leave people in ruin by saying it with like a harsh tone or like a very real blunt tone. But I feel that these days people have an even more like shocked and like, you know, visceral reaction when you tell the truth using your nice words. Because I've often had to be in a position where it's like, okay, now I have to use my nice words, so I'm just going to say the truth, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I haven't called you any names, I haven't, cussed or anything, and people are more disturbed by that level of truth. I got to tell you. Yeah,
I think the people don't like the truth to begin with, because living in a world of lies is better. I mean, we're Americans. And so we want to live off all those lies that have passed down from all of our 200 years.
But also then it's easier. It's just like, right, like anything somebody says, if it's coded in any kind of cuss words or anger or, name calling, then it's easier to, in your own mind, dissociate from it and say, oh, well, that doesn't really.
That's the crazy person.
That's the crazy person. It doesn't really count.
Yeah.
Because of the way that you delivered it. But when you say it just clear and plain, it's a little bit harder to go, oh, they're crazy. It's like, ooh, what
is
if
it me this time?
I was like, what if part of that's right? I don't like it. I don't want it.
Is that a truth arrow? Yeah. I think that definitely people, and if they know you, then when you say it in a calm way, it's even more scary.
Also true.
Because no one expects me that's around me to be like, come up and hold your hand, look you in the eye, say anything, say a couple nice things, and then tell you the truth.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Comment, question. Wasn't that the J-Lo, how she does her interviews?
Oh,
compliment, question.
Oh, I don't know how J-Lo does shit.
No, we don't know. She's just Jenny from the block.
Anyways.
The lies.
New PSA. On microaggression. I even looked this up. Well, we know what they are, but we realize that we might need to explain to people what they are in case you've never heard of such a thing.
If you've never
heard that term.
I think a lot of people, after we discuss it, might actually realize.
Oh, people know what it is. You just don't know that it's called that.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that's been around forever, but never had a fancy term.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. People give us the definition, and then we'll maybe take them back in a time machine. From
an official source, a microaggression is a comment or action that subtly and often unconsciously or unintentionally expresses a prejudiced attitude toward a member of a marginalized group. So such as a racial minority, sexual orientation, what have you.
So just in context, 10, 15 years ago, we probably would have called this casual racism, because it's just those things that you say, and sometimes you just say them to, as a white person, you'll just say them to a cough break.
It's everybody.
I almost said person of color.
Ooh, look at that.
Hurt me. Well, we know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
So, you have had some.
Oh, haven't I?
Would you like to give us a bouquet of microaggressions?
A bouquet of microaggressions? Let's see. One of my personal favorites from when I first started working, and I met this lady that I had spoken to several times. Met her in person. You don't sound black on the phone.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. I love that one so hard. Oh, and this one, of course, all the time, which I get, but at the same time, the way it's phrased, and if you don't really know me, so what are you?
Right.
Ooh, that's an amazing one.
What are you?
What are you?
Alive. A human.
Because it's so generic, right? But it's like, it's such a popular microaggression that you're automatically supposed to know what it means, and sadly, often you do.
Right.
Okay, now that I've had my mini dance break.
I know, and she also did a Skeletor impersonation on that break.
I did, which was horrible. I feel that I did not do
shocking.
Skeletor justice, but
Wait, here's a microaggression.
Oh,
You know about Skeletor?
that is pretty. That's generationist. Is that a thing? Can you be
Ooh.
generationist?
Well, you can
I
be
just
an
wait.
ageist.
An ageist, but I like mine better. I like mine better.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
But yeah, it doesn't just have to be against black people. Those are just some of the ones I've experienced. Oh, let me see if I can think of any good women microaggressions. Not off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, anytime a guy has to like explain something to women, in which mansplaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I agree, mansplaining exists. 110% agree it exists, because also that comes not the same, but similarly, comes from older men who think they know everything about a subject.
Not just a subject, everything.
Everything. So anytime they have any kind of, you say something and they have knowledge, they have to tell you you're wrong about it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal. I do that because most people are fucking wrong.
Well, I think mansplaining, I think people know, I hope people know, that when you're talking about mansplaining, you're talking about somebody who's just kind of talking out their ass, and they don't really know the topic, but they've decided that what you, because it's often, like, any more examples are, a guy saying, oh, no, it's actually not labia, it's a vagina. You know what I mean? Like, those kinds of mansplainings.
Okay.
Those are the kinds of things that, you see.
I've done that before. I've told many. I think we've talked about that before. I've used to just whatever reason tell people how to douche correctly
You have
to
told
not
me that.
upset the pH balance of their body.
You have told me that.
Well, I just felt that women don't know about their vagina because, not because they don't know about their vagina, but because at the age of which we were, which was teenagers, that maybe people weren't being honest with them about what they need to do to self-cleanse.
Well, listen, we come from a dark time.
Right, when people didn't talk about vaginas.
People didn't talk
People
about
used to
it.
say vagina. I mean, I used to hear guys say vagina, like it's a
That's
banana
true.
and a vagina at the same time. It's a vagina.
Well, and it was like all of the other like cutesy little nicknames for it.
Pussy.
I don't think pussy's in that list. But
Kitty cat.
yeah, or like hoo-ha, not
Coochie.
necessarily, but yeah, like all the things that's like hinting around it, but not
I
really.
used to know a lot more words that refer to vagina than I do now.
I know. I mean, anyways,
Hatchet wound. That's a pretty horrible one.
it's a nightmare. I'm gonna use it tomorrow.
Do it. Use it at work. Everybody use hatchet wound at work tomorrow.
What? Do you remember those shows where they'd give you a word and you had to use it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like? It wasn't.
What was that?
One
We're
of those
getting
kid
old,
shows. We
people.
are. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, neither here nor there. I feel that we're straying, and that's
We're
fine.
straying.
Sometimes you'll have that in a PSA. Moral of the story is, don't microaggress people.
So-
Did you like the way I made it into a verb?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
So, we need to give examples. Microaggress me, please.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I've got one. Sorry, I had to think about it. See, real time. We should really
Real
plan
time.
this
Yeah,
shit.
no
Anyways,
shit. It's fun that way.
we're going.
It's like acting.
So we were just watching RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
And, I'm really jealous. I'm going to have to pretend to be gay so I can go on one of these fabulous travel plans that they have. Like, they have all the great things for if you're gay.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Wasn't that a good one?
Yeah.
It's like elongated. It's like really
it's
with
like
the feeling.
if I was black, then I could go to college for free.
It's the Native Americans, and because I heard that complaint from several sirs.
Well,
No ma'ams.
No ma'ams. The
Several sirs.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
But they used to have that whole. That's the whole. Like they got their job because of.
Insert affirmative action here.
The best part is when they say, because you don't have enough white people around you.
Okay.
They'll say they got the job, and everybody at home, I'm touching my skin and rubbing it back and forth because
you don't have to say the
you don't have to say the words.
Wow.
Those are white people secrets.
You're gonna get in trouble at the next meeting for telling.
I haven't been in the meeting, nor have I been giving my dues or my tithings.
Oh, they will give you
White
away in the
tithings.
next race draft. Ooh, if the race draft was a real thing, do you remember this moment from Chappelle's show? Okay.
You know how I divert from life when people
I
like
know.
to me white people like black things.
I get you.
I just can't do it.
But it was a fun skit. It was this
okay.
idea that, you give away the people you don't want.
Yeah.
And it was like the black delegation was giving away Condoleezza Rice.
Y'all
sorry.
need to leave her alone.
I didn't write it. I just laughed at it. So anyways, if there was a race draft and you could get scouted by another race, what would you choose?
I think it's a hands down, right? I think you know what I would choose. I have chosen.
You have chosen.
I have chosen many a times. And just the other day, I shocked another white person by saying, they asked me if I was going to get along with somebody, not in any kind of derogatory way, but the person is a black female. And they were like, are you going to get along with such and such person? And I was like, oh, yeah, because I get along better with other people than I do white people.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? Like, what do you mean? I'm like, I get along with anybody who's not white. Rules of the road. Bringing it back.
I got you. It's beautiful. Okay.
So I would pick black.
Got it.
You?
I think I would just cross over the line.
I know what you're going to say.
Do you?
I think so.
Say it for
no,
me.
I don't want to say it for you.
I would be
say it
like,
at the same time.
okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hawaiian.
Puerto Rican. I'm already getting mistaken for it anyway. I would be like, open my arms and be like, welcome me home.
Yeah.
And teach me Spanish.
Yeah. But I mean, and we've talked about that before. Like the whole thing, I get angry about your skin tone, Joy, because
Sorry.
because I just don't get it. Like I don't understand how people don't know that even if she was Puerto Rican, she could still be a black woman.
Right.
Because there are.
Don't blow minds. Don't blow people's minds.
I'm trying to. So any like island nation in the Atlantic Ocean is going to be in somewhat way populated by black people who are brought over for slavery purposes. Yeah. And so in that Dominican Republic, in other area, in Puerto Rico especially, there are lots of black people who are Puerto Rican and black at the same time.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's a wide array of skin tones that come in the label of Puerto Rican.
And it's the same with all Latin races, like, and black, and even white. White people can go from white to pink.
To olive.
To olive. There
That's
are
right.
the
You guys
olives.
get fancy and you go olive.
Well, Greek and Italian. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, there's freckled. There's the ginger.
That's right.
So, and then there's even ginger black people. There's a mind-blowing thing, too, because they do
that'll
exist.
fuck you up. I haven't seen one in real life, but I've read about it.
Was it a character in an Anne Rice novel? But yeah, that whole thing, that's what drives me crazy about when we often talk together about this person said this about my skin tone. And it's everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has an opinion on your skin tone.
It's just true. That's true. I told you I was going to get shirts at one point, right? That I don't know why I never did it. Like,
should have done it.
Shirts are so cheap to make. I was just going to get one that said, "No, I'm not mixed," which people don't really use as much anymore. It's definitely a generational thing.
What do they say now?
Biracial.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. People go for like the full on, we're getting real technical about it.
But
when I was a kid,
Yeah.
you were mixed, okay? And we didn't even have to guess what the makeup was because we knew your mom was white because at that point in time, black women were not dating white men and then having babies. I'm sorry, they weren't. Not in the early 80s. No.
In the 70s and
Sir.
80s, no. And the thing of it is, it's still more accepting for a black man and a white female relationship from both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Because, black females typically.
You see a black woman and a white man, heads still turn. They're like, what?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
And they assume that she talks a certain way.
There's all kinds of assumptions. There's all kinds of microaggressions.
Microaggressions can come from anywhere. And so what do we have to learn from that?
Just shut the hell up.
And remember that to be beautiful and natural is the birthright of every woman. And I wish you all loads and loads of loveliness and good luck.